Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Yak Gadget. For all your kayak fishing accessory needs, go to yakgadget.com. Pelican cases, coolers, and lighting. Go to pelican.com. The 153 Bait Company. For all your hard and soft bait needs, go to the153anglers.com. Now let's get this show started.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Chasing the Tide, your saltwater connection on the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. I'm your host, Dustin Nichols. Tonight we got a pretty cool show with a charitable organization. We got the man with the plan right here from the Fin Addict Angler Foundation. We got Oscar Castillo on. What's going on, man? How's it going?
Man, it's going good, man. I tell you what, with an introduction like that, dude, it'll pump you up.
Oh, I can get more pumped up too, man.
Yeah,
you know, that's how you
man,
gotta do. You gotta get it going. You know, what's up, everybody?
Yeah, man, for real. I was like, oh shoot, the real deal. Here we go.
Man, I think I've done enough of these. I kind of got it. That's pretty much how I did to all of them. And then, when I get excited is when I start talking real fast, and then you'll be like, man, where is that guy from? He sounds like from Louisiana or somewhere. He ain't from Texas. He's from Georgia. That's where he's from.
Damn, Georgia.
Yeah, I grew up in southeast Georgia, man, on the coast over there, and spent some time in the Marine Corps, moved around, duty stations and all that, and then ended up in Texas in 96. But yeah, there it is. Man, we're going to get rolling here. Normally at the beginning of the show, want to let everybody know a little bit about yourself and give them a little backstory, and then kind of roll into what kicked off this or what Fin Addict Angler Foundation is about and what kind of started, and then we'll get further in depth into it.
Yeah, man. So first of all, thank you for having me on this podcast. And I know we talked about it for a little bit, and I'm excited that we're finally able to get it going and get it recorded. So thank you very much for that. My name is Oscar Castillo, and I'm the executive director for Fin Addict Angler Foundation. It's back in 2011. We had wanted to bring communities together, different communities, all walks of life together to come fish events. Because prior to that, I was very fortunate to have exposure of fishing tournaments along the coastline. Man, from South Padre, Port Isabel, all the way to Galveston and up all up and down the coastline, but also on the freshwater side of things too. And so before 2011, I was traveling around doing these fishing tournaments, and I wanted to bring something home, man, to San Antonio, Texas. So in 2011, we started having little community fishing events here, kind of happy-go-lucky, and the crowds started to get bigger and bigger, but the main picture for the main focus of all this was to teach kids fishing. I wanted to go out and teach kids and families all about fishing, angler education, aquatic education. And so 2016, we started Fin Addict Angler Foundation. And here we are, man, 2021, rocking and rolling.
Yeah, and if it's a 501c3 foundation, right? I mean, it's legit. I mean, y'all got stuff going on like crazy.
Yeah. I tell you what, man. I'll tell you a story really quick. Back in 2011, all the way to 2015, we were kind of happy-go-lucky, and for the most part, me and some buddies were funding everything. We would go on the social media and we would say that we were going to go to a park, and if you would like to join us, learn something about fishing, how to tie a knot, and basically put the rod and reels together. And so we did that for a couple of years, and it started growing and growing and growing. In 2015, my mom came out to an event, and she was shocked at all the people that were there and everything that was going on. And she asked me, who funds this? I said, well, we do. It's just a happy-go-lucky thing. And she said, what is the biggest event you've ever done? I said, well, something like this, it's pretty consistent because this is all that we could afford. And she said, would you like to do bigger things? And I said, yeah, I would. but I don't see that happening. And so it was really her idea to go out and get a 501c3 and you know, under education and get this ball rolling and actually have others help us achieve, you know, our goals and our mission statement. So that's how all that, you know, came about, man.
Man, that's super cool. So for everybody that don't know, what else is there do y'all offer? I mean, y'all's mission is I see it says to organize and conduct fishing clinics, promote angler education, fostering the knowledge and skills of fishing while reinforcing the importance of stewardship of the land and outdoor ethics. And that's cool.
Yes.
That's, y'all can go visit their website. I got it posted up down there on the ticker down there. It's finaddictangler.org, you know, and you can scroll through and see what their mission, vision, and who they are. And then all the events they have that go on, and then how to volunteer or how to donate. There's a lot of stuff there. Contact and reach out. There's ways, you know, there's tournaments, there's clinics, there's instructor workshops. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going off.
I know,
what I'm
man.
excited about is that the 10th annual kayak tournament coming up. But yeah, y'all have a golf tournament also that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
that.
man. Yeah, so you know what happened was when we got our 501c3 and you know, we opened up Fin Addict Angler Foundation, a nonprofit. I mean, we went all out, man. I'm a Texas Parks and Wildlife area chief instructor. You know, I teach adults how to teach kids fishing, and really it's a curriculum. I teach the adults a curriculum that was created by Texas Parks and Wildlife and some other agencies, right? And so I went all out, man. But the very first fishing clinic that we had put on, it was for a neighborhood fishing program here in San Antonio. It was a little community park. The very first one that I put on, I invited all of my fishing buddies. And basically, you know, the volunteers that we had set up stations. And so we teach kids stewardship of the land. And when the kids come to our events, they all get a wristband and they must attend every station. When they complete every station, they get a certificate of completion. They become a basic angler, Texas Parks and Wildlife certified, and Fin Addict Angler Foundation certified. And so when the very first event that I put on, like on a big public community level, partnered with the San Antonio River Authority, you know, Texas Parks and Wildlife, Academy, Sports and Outdoors, all these corporations and other foundations, I invited all of my fishing buddies. And when they came with their families and they went to stewardship of the land station, they went to the safety station, they went to the knot tying and to the casting, and then on to fishing. When they went to every station, for the most part, they knew everything, for the most part. And I sat back and I said, man, I invited all the wrong people. I invited fishermen to like a fishing clinic, and only because this was a basic, this was an intro. So after that, man, I never did that again. I went to the local basketball courts. I went to the football fields. I went to the soccer fields. I went out just in general. I went out to the public and said, you want to learn fishing? And we have had thousands of kids come through our program that would have never, ever had an opportunity to fish or maybe didn't have any guidance. So when you look at our events, man, there's a golf tournament in there. You know, we attract golfers. Yeah. And for the most part, golfers love outdoors. And a golfer might not want to come to our event, but they probably have grandkids or kids or neighbors. And man, we do whatever we can to promote Fin Addict Angler Foundation. We do menudo cook-offs, man. We've been to a lowrider, man. We've been to a lowrider car show, like with all our fishing gear. Like we go everywhere, anywhere and everywhere, and we're very successful with it. And there's a lot of people behind us, and so we're doing good. We're in a good place. We have a lot of good support, and it's fun, man. Everything we do is fun. I would like to go back to talk about our kayak tournament, though.
Oh yeah, I said y'all just did have a kids meetup, right?
Yeah, last week, man. 129 kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we were very fortunate to have it over there at Brook City Base, which is an old Air Force base here in San Antonio, and they have ponds. They have
cool.
ponds there, and
they're stocked with fish. There's some good.
They are. They are. So it's a private facility, right? But they are stocked with fish. There's bass and catfish and bluegills. And man, I will tell you one thing. Like going into this, we for the most part knew that there was a couple of 14-inch bass, right? And there was a ton of 9-inch bass, and there was a ton of 7-inch bass, and we knew that going in. But the main thing was to go with smaller hooks so that everybody could have a catch ratio. And this is like, I mean, I share all this, man, because somebody else could use it. But we went with ultralight rods.
Yep.
Right. And so when the kids caught a 7-inch bass and a 9-inch bass, it felt big.
Oh, they was having a blast on them ultralights.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And so, we knew going in that there was no 6-pounders, 10-pounders, stuff like that. We always scout the area and we always have a plan. But the main thing is to have fun. So we adapted. And people said, "You're going to have it there?" And I said, "Yeah, man, because there's a bigger picture." And I tell you what, we had 129 kids, and it was a blast. We had 12 kids catch a fish for the first time ever.
That's awesome.
Ever. Yeah, so we have awards for that. We have a first fish award.
Oh,
and
wow.
I tell you what, man, it's neat. I've been very fortunate, and I've actually have missed you on a couple of tournament scenes, but we fished the Rudy's Redfish when it was around in the IFA and Saltwater Angler magazine, and so I've had the opportunity to be in those positions, right? But I tell you what, man, I love giving back to the community, and we rock.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of us, dude. I mean, this is what we do is not really easy, but it's very rewarding.
Do y'all have some corporate sponsors that help out?
We do, man. Yes. Yeah. We and when it comes to like, man, Walmart has helped us out tremendously.
Cool deal.
Walmart in Galveston, dude. And we're in San Antonio, but the things that we've done in Galveston, Walmart helped us out tremendously. Academy. Man, all the way down to B&B Charcoal and Kielbasa.
Oh. Cool deal. I was gonna say the kids they get some food and stuff at that event, and then
yes, and so before COVID, man, we rock and roll, right? And then when COVID hit, it shut everything down, and we were still able to have food, but it had to be wrapped and it had to be sealed and everything individually.
Yes.
And but last weekend, coming out of the situation that we were in, by then lifting some bans, we were able to bring food back in. And even though we brought food back in, we still individually wrapped everything. And, we're still rocking and rolling with a whole bunch of COVID guidelines and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Over 120 kids and,
man,
never caught fish before. So, I mean, that's cool getting the kids to exposed to that. And then it's like, then next level, from a bank fisherman, hey, they might, a few years down the road might grab a kayak and then be out there battling with us later on,
Yeah,
it's
man.
Cool to see everything and see what possibilities are out there. Even just walking in the spots is just cool just to get them into it,
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I was surprised at all the kids that got up on a Saturday. This was last week. School had already started, I think, for 95% of the kids. They had already gone through a week or two of school, and they got up. And I think people are wanting it.
Yeah.
And part of our program is to have the parents involved. So the parents, for the most part, have the money and they have the vehicle and they have the say so. So it's very important that the parents. Of course, I want to get kids into fishing, but I need the support of the parents or the guardians or the neighbor or whoever it is that's going to bring them. So it's very important, man. It's a full circle. It's really, really cool.
It is cool. So what other events are coming up? I think there's a kayak tournament coming up.
Man, there's a big kayak tournament, man. there's a big kayak. It's like a 2-day deal. It's not a mandatory 2-day because the kayak tournament is Saturday, but we highly encourage everyone to come out on Friday, and they do. We probably have about 100 people camping out on Friday, and then by Saturday there'll probably be about 160, 180 anglers. And you know what, man? I will say one thing. This tournament is held at Calaveras, and when we started doing our fishing tournaments, we started out at Calaveras only because it's personal for us. That's where we grew up. That's where we started. Bronick Lake and Calaveras Lake. Yeah. And so as we did grow and mature and get older, we started venturing out. We went to the coast a ton. We went to rivers, the Nueces. We went to the Guadalupe, and we started venturing out from San Antonio. But we started at Bronick, Calaveras, and our San Antonio River. So when we had this idea of hosting tournaments, where were we going to do it? Sharkathon had just started also, and that was a super, awesome event. And they had that Friday, Saturday, Sunday locked down at the coast on Big Shell, and I said, man, let's just have it in San Antonio, and everybody thought I was crazy, and I said, we'll have it at Calaveras Lake, and so our fishing tournaments are there, kind of, to give back to the community, to bring something to San Antonio. Yeah. And we have the biggest events. And granted, this is our 10th year, man. We've been doing it strong for 10 years.
Yeah. And for the listeners out there who might not be familiar with these two lakes, Bronick and Calaveras, you can catch redfish there. TPWD stocks, landlocked redfish in the freshwater lakes.
Yeah, man. So Texas Parks and Wildlife,
definitely cool.
It's super cool. And Fin Addict Angler Foundation is very, very fortunate to have access to the hatchery and flower club. Yeah. So we do trips over there, man. We take families over there. We take military veterans over there, we take special needs kids, and we take everyday kids. Everybody goes, and we're very fortunate for that. Actually, 2 months ago, we were the first ones to get in there since COVID hit over a year and a half ago. Oh. Man, they called and said, Oscar, you want to come in? And I said, yeah, well, who's been? And they said, nobody. And I said, oh, man. They said, you guys are the first ones to come back. Yeah, I was like, let's do it. No doubt. And so those redfish that are in that hatchery are the ones that are used to stock Bronick and Calaveras Lake. Correct. And because they are saltwater redfish, right? A freshwater drum is when you get into like gas for booze and stuff like that. Yeah. But the saltwater redfish drum needs salinity to reproduce. To spawn. Correct. Yeah. Yep. Yes. And so because they get those saltwater redfish and they put them in Bronick and Calaveras at a very young age, the fingerlings, there is no salinity. So therefore they don't spawn, they don't reproduce. Yeah. And all they do, man, is eat and grow. That's all they do is eat and grow. And for the most part, 85% of the time, the water's warm if it's not boiling, because Bronick and Calaveras Lake is it's a big cooling lake, right, for our CPS energy. Yes. And so the water's warm. Lakes. Yeah, the water stays pretty much warm. Lakes, yep. And one thing that's cool about that lake is very often there are redfish caught that just have the most awesome spot patterns there. For some reason, they're like some of the coolest looking spotted fish that have 100 spots or 60 spots, 70 spots come out of those lakes. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? And you know what? That's growing up here in San Antonio, fishing Bronick and Calaveras, power plant lakes, redfish. Man, in the 80s and the 90s and even the early 2000s, the redfish were 40 inches and plus, dude. Yeah. And that was often. Like you can come today, you can come tomorrow and catch some 36, 37, 38s. And so the freshwater rule for Texas Parks and Wildlife for the red drum is 20 inches and over. There's no max and there's no tag use. Yeah. as opposed to the saltwater. So growing up with that mentality, man, we fished, redfish in 14 to 27 feet of water, man.
Yes.
And there was many different ways, jigging or down rigging, trolling,
Yep.
And so coming out of high school and going to Port Mansfield, and I remember spending 2 days in Port Mansfield in 10 inches of water, and everybody was saying, "There's redfish here," and I said, "There ain't no way, man. The redfish are in 14 feet of water. They're in 25 feet of water," because that's all I knew. And going down to the saltwater, man, it was so different, and it was so unique.
It's a different, definitely different transition in if you had grown up, targeting those fish in the freshwater when you're actually trolling rattle traps or like your flutter spoons, and you can use inline sinkers with a swivel and a longer leader to get like big curly tails down. I've done that in different passes on the Gulf side, but it's totally different. You're not like throwing just chunk of. You do a lot of trolling if you want to cover more water, and you have to be keen on your electronics.
Yes,
down scan and side imaging. Yes,
definitely, because those fish are practically like I don't know if the word's brainwashed, but they run in schools.
Yes,
like all day. I mean, just like many other fish. But over there at our here in San Antonio in our power plant lakes, they run in schools, man. So for the most part, if you're trolling two I tell you what is a really, really big hit is like Kelly Wigglers, man. Kelly Wigglers is prime for us because they are really durable and they're a little harder. Right, Down South Lures makes an excellent lure, and it's what is it? Catch it on the ball. It just has so much action, and that works very well. But here, like with us trolling, man, you really want a paddle tail. And there's a lot of great companies out there, but we grew up with Kelly Wiggler and down rigging, paddle tails, and because of how they're made, man, it was just perfect for us. But if you catch one, if one rod goes off, more than likely 60-70% of the time the other one's gonna go.
That other one's gonna go.
Yeah,
you got to split up.
And if you got 3 rods out, man, you better be ready because all 3 of them are gonna go off more than likely. But I love it, man. We had
for the upcoming tournament, or is there a limit of rods, limit of lures you can have in the water? Is it just artificial only? Give a little info on that for everybody that might be interested for that one.
Yeah, man, I would love to. So this is our 10th year, and we're having a kayak tournament at Calaveras Lake, September 25th, and so our tournaments are designed for the people. They're designed for the people and for the lake or wherever we're fishing. So because we're fishing Calaveras, we allow bait. Bait is big on Calaveras. Live bait, fresh dead, is big, but so is artificials. So for our kayak tournament, we allow artificial and live or dead bait. Everything within 6 parts of wildlife rules. And you can use two. You can use 2 rods.
2 rods
per kayak. Yeah, and the kayak can be paddle or pedal, just no motorized.
No electric motors.
No electric or gas powered motors. And the only reason why is to kind of keep it somewhat of a playing field. We all launch out of the same area. We all come back into the same area. We all eat. Man, we eat and we drink, and I'll tell you a little bit about Friday night. We got probably about 100 or more campers are going to come out, and we're going to have a free cornhole tournament. We have prizes for that. We have a big fish fry for everyone with hush puppies and just on and on. The next day we have breakfast for everybody, and then we have lunch again after the tournament. And we really treat people the way that we like to be treated.
Correct.
But for the kayak, I mean, it's pedal or paddle. No motor, no motors, electric or gas, none of that. No down rigging. There's no down riggers allowed on the kayaks, which some people have. That's a style of fishing out there. But for this event, they take them off, and you're able to use two rods at the same time. Some people, anchor up, and some people troll, and but you can definitely use 2 rods at the same time. You don't have to use just one. And it's a great time, man. And we have a shoreline. We have a 40-hour shoreline tournament out there. We have a boat tournament, a motorboat tournament out there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we were able to target all fishermen, whether you had a kayak or you don't have anything, and you just have a lawn chair and a rod holder. We have an event for you. Yes, sir.
Man, that's cool. It just blows my mind that those giant redfish are swimming around out there with, and there is bass there's bass in those lakes too. There's, other freshwater game fish and everything. But that would be a cool event to me. It'd be have like a redfish one day and bass the next on the same lake.
No, man, I tell you what, and back in the 80s and 90s, there used to be bass tournaments in those lakes, big ones, dude. Like the bass clubs. Because those fish, they don't have too much length, but they got weight. Man, it is. They call them footballs.
Yeah, there are footballs in that lake. In both of those lakes.
But you know what, man? They haven't. Bass fishing there hasn't been. I would say popular for like 10 years. So I think it'll really hit, dude. I really, really do. I really do, because they're gonna have some weight. It's just that nobody really targets them there. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's a different clientele, but I don't know. I mean, if people think that all the big bass are at a bass drop all over the what is it, Falcon?
Falcon.
I don't know. Granger.
Choke Canyon.
Yeah, man, Choke Canyon, definitely. Choke Canyon.
That's one of my favorite lakes. Choke and Fayette. Yep. Fayette stuff. Bass drop's good, but it's just you got to weed through a lot of small fish. You can go there and have 50 fish days, no problem. They're all really fun lakes. We're lucky to be in our area. We're 2 hours away from quite a few really cool lakes. And then what's cool about San Antonio too is having those two that have redfish in them. Like I said, y'all go to the website, check it out. I'll definitely. I'm off, so I'm planning on coming out and trying my hand at those freshwater beasts.
Yeah, man, and you know what? This kayak tournament is for the single heaviest redfish.
Yep.
So when that alone makes it anyone's ball game.
Yes.
All you need is one. We're not asking for 3. We're not asking for this, for multiple species. It's just a single heaviest redfish. And I tell you what, man, it's anybody's ball game. We have people that fish that lake every day, and they come to our tournaments, and they don't win. It's just it wasn't their day. And it's not that they can't catch fish. It's just that it's the single heaviest redfish.
Single heaviest. Is there any side pots or anything like a spot pot? Most spots win or anything like that?
Man.
Cool deal.
Yeah. You definitely have to get into the most spots, and we got a catfish, because there's some big blues in there too.
Yeah, you'll catch big blues trolling. They'll slam a rattle trap and stuff too.
Yeah, man, they'll hit a spoon
for sure.
too. Yeah.
Spoons, jigging spoons, all that good stuff. Yeah, I'll have quite a few slab spoons ready to go, and some of the bigger rattle traps.
That's right.
Some good stuff ready to go with that, and see what happens. I might have to get up there and fish it a couple more times before that time. But I mean, September's pretty busy. I got Southeast Texas Kayak Bass League Championship, the classic, the weekend before that.
Man,
Palestine and Athens, and then October's busy. Man, it's just there's all kinds of stuff going on recently. I was just in Grand Isle last
man,
week.
I saw
that. I got over there Thursday morning, and for Ride the Bull, and then that storm just really spun up out of nowhere, and the models were kind of weird on it at first, and then it kind of took a bullseye right there to Grand Isle pretty much. So I fished that afternoon. We had a little lightning on the water, had a little excitement, kind of had a couple of squalls come through on us, but they made a mandatory evacuation for Friday at 10 a.m. So they canceled the tournament. You know, we were on the water Thursday afternoon when they canceled the tournament, and we were like, well, I guess we're turning around. I'm turning around driving home the next day. So, you know, it's unfortunate with what happened. Bridgeside Marina was dealt a pretty bad blow. I mean, a lot of the stuff, I'm sure is unrecognizable on Grand Isle right now in Leeville, Golden Meadow, all those communities there. You know, hey, we're thinking about y'all. You know, man, prayers for everybody over there, man. They got dealt a big one. That was a pretty major storm to go in over there.
Yeah, you know, man. So here, you know how we had that freeze, right?
Yes.
So we had snow, and you know, personally, like we didn't have any power and for several days, and we were very fortunate to have water. But you know, going through that, and then being in your home, like with busted pipes and no electricity.
Yep.
And you know, we were still able to go on social media, and the people in Florida were fishing, catching tarpon, and we're over here like suffering, right? And you know, I really felt that this time around because even like when Hurricane Harvey hit, you know, and damaged our Gulf really bad, it really didn't hit us. But during the whole snow era, man, we got hit hard, and I saw other people like still living their lives, but you know, it's really hard, man, because I know this week, like Louisiana got hit really hard, and I'm like, dude, I kind of feel bad that we're here, you know, we have power, we have water, and man, those guys don't have it, dude, and it's just it's sad, and it's a bad deal, you know, and I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard for me to
rough.
go on and do things because I know that they're hurting, man.
I know.
You know, when we had our deals down here in Rockport and Houston, my sister's in Houston. You know, the Cajun Navy came down.
Yep.
You know, so it's I mean, damn, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely different. You know, Harvey. You know, we had 2-3 days without power here. Same with the freeze. I'm not sure which one I'd rather toss up and take. Probably the freeze because it was more comfortable in the house.
Yeah.
And I was actually able to get a hold of a generator and you know, run a few things. When Harvey hit, you know, it's the humidity and the, you know, no air conditioning. You know, you take this kind of stuff for granted. You know, I was in the military, you know, I lived in the field, you know, we played, you know, we had training exercises where you slept in a dirt pit and all kind of good stuff in the rain. And, you know, I've been there, done that, but you know, you take for granted these, you know, the air conditioning, the power, the running water, all this good stuff, you know, and then when it's gone, you're like, holy cow, you know?
And you know what? And you know what, man, I'll tell you really quick, you know, so like say, you know, going into that kids fishing tournament last weekend, they had predicted that storm to come a little closer to San Antonio, you know, to Rockport. And this is a week ago.
A week ago, they had a hit coming up Port O'Connor's pipes pretty much.
Coming
right across Victoria up into SA. Yep.
Yeah. So you know, like, you know, Fin Addict Angler Foundation, man, we work hard for everything that we have. And we work and we solicit funds to go out and do free, you know, kids fishing events, whether it's for homeschoolers or even a public school or private school system. Like we go out for children's shelters, you know, veterans. We do all kinds of events. And so we work really hard to go out and solicit funds and ask for donations. And we do all of our paperwork and the whole 9 yards. So when the day comes, you know, like in my mind, man, I'm expecting to have an awesome time. I'm expecting to have a great time because of all the work that has gone into it. But, you know, I never take that day for granted, man. You know, when that day is over and everyone's smiling, I really, really appreciate it because at any given moment, that thing could have gone south, you know, that event, that time or moment. And so, you know, things happen all the time, man. And so when we have a good day, you know, weather-wise or just news-wise, man, I appreciate it because you never know, man.
Yeah, you never know. You take it for granted. Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Woo.
For real.
Well,
But it's
we got
good, man.
something else for you here. I usually like to, pick my guest's brain, and we do a thing called Pick 3. Pick 3. So you're getting salty with 3 setups. It could be, spinning setup, baitcaster setup. What are they going to be? And what are you going to have tied on them for inshore redfish? Go.
Yeah, man. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
So man, I have gotten really spoiled with spinning reels and 20-mile-an-hour winds, right? Like,
yeah.
So I try not to mess too much with bait casters. My favorite bait casters is pin. I fish a lot of pin reels, and I actually use fish stick rods, out of Hitchcock, but Santa Fe area. But yeah, I love pin reels, man. I'll use a 2500 anywhere. I'll use it on the jetties. I'll use it in the baits. So I would have to say, if the winds are about 15 or more, I probably shouldn't even be on a kayak. But wherever I'm at, I would definitely use a spinning reel. And anything under than that, I use a pin squall. The low profiles, man, dude, I fell in love with those pin squalls. Man, so 3 baits.
Yep. Is 3 setups, 3 baits.
3 setups, man. I would say definitely a poppy cork. Man, I wish I would have remembered what old Poco Cedillo. Did he go through this too?
Yeah, I'll have Poco on too. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What do you call it? Yeah, but I would have to say probably a poppy cork with a gulp. Mm-hmm. Man, gulp has been really, really, really good to us. We do a lot of recreation fishing and tournament fishing as well, but I would have to say a poppy cork with a gulp. Man, it kind of depends on what that water's like, but I'll definitely use an AM lure. You got that big old garlic, and we actually had put garlic in anise back in our bass fishing days, and I brought that to the salt with me, man, 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. But now it's commercialized. Now everybody knows about it.
Yeah, for sure.
You got those guys from Stank Stick and all that stuff, and you can put that scent. But AM Lures comes out with it, ready to rock and roll, man.
Yeah, you can smell it through the packaging.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's very true.
Reach out and touch you. Definitely. Yeah.
Yep.
You definitely have some AM all over you. You ain't getting no loving. You smelling like the dang garlic bread.
That's right. And imagine with the gulp juice, man. You go from gulp to AM. Mm-hmm. Man,
I don't know. I'd much rather have the AM juice than that gulp juice any day, all over. Trust me. Yeah, I'd rather smell like I came out of Olive Garden with the breadstick than smelling like I've been in the rotten fish market.
Yeah, that's right. No, man,
A&M's got great action. They got that, you can burn them in with that paddle. They got that ribbon tail on them, and they got a cool little, shad profile. There's some good looking baits.
Yeah, man, when they came out with those minis, I was really excited.
Yeah.
Man, dude, keeping it down to 3, that's really tough. I mean, I've always liked Kelly Whittler, the ball tail shads.
Yep.
There's a time and a place, man. I wish I could actually put I got some hard baits, man, made by Livingston Lures, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Killer. I mean, everybody needs a topwater bait. So
yeah, Livingston makes some good topwaters. They got some good jerk baits and good wake baits. Yeah, they got they make some good stuff on the saltwater for inshore stuff and bass side. It'd be kind of tough for me to narrow it down. I mean, 3 is kind of a some tournaments have rod, limits. There's a couple here and there that have, you can only take 4, and then some are like, whatever, just take as many as you want. So today I fished this morning, I had a 4 Horseman popping cork with a grande kicking shrimp with shrimp imitation. I had a smaller top water.
You guys are running that grande salt, right?
Yeah, I'm affiliated. Yeah, we got some new colors and stuff coming out on the 2.8 kickback shads, a little smaller. They swim really good. I have one of them tied on an 1/8 ounce jig head today. You can just burn it back from the grass lines, or even if you see a couple of fish moving, you just pitch it right in front of them and kill it. And then right when they get in front of you, just pop, and they'll get a reaction strike. Right. I had 2 I had the little smaller heading spook, the boyo.
Oh yeah,
on the protected shorelines, the water's calm. Those smaller top waters have been key. They will not hit a one knocker. They won't hit a spook junior when the water's slick. They're hitting that smaller boyo big time. Then I had a wake bait guy, Salty Plugger here in Victoria, paints some custom lures for me, and then Strike Pro makes a pretty good one too. Their hunchbacks are kind of tough to beat. If they're structured and scattered shell along the shoreline, and it's less than a foot deep, sometimes they won't come up and eat that top water. You put a wake bait over them and they will crush it. So that's what I had on today. Right. And I had a Z-Man Bullseyes spinner bait with the ice strike jig head. So I got that one burned with a mud flat. Sometimes they'll hit those pretty good. Yeah, I had 6 rods today. Go figure.
Man, that is so cool. You know, when I always tell people, man, you got to be careful what you ask for, because, I always wanted to teach kids fishing, and I wanted to, and it wasn't all about catching your personal best, because it's about learning. It's about being safe out there so that you can fish tomorrow, right? Learn, take care of yourself today so that you can go back out tomorrow. When they come to our fishing clinics, I tell everyone, like, what you're learning here is it's priceless information, but it's designed for you to be able to come back tomorrow on your own, or next week, come back with your family, and continue to enjoy the outdoors. So there was too many organizations giving kids rod and reels with a little tub of worm, sending them on their way, and the kid didn't know what to do or have any kind of concept. So that's how we started. And so, like, when I listen to you talk right now, and you're like, man, mud, sand, shell, all that is the theory behind the method. There's a reason why we do stuff. And so when the internet came out, a lot of people lost that. You just go Google Bronick Lake right now at 7 o'clock, and they'll tell you, man, the stripers are hitting on chicken liver and 3 feet of water or whatever. Yeah, and you go do that, and you go do that, and you catch. But you don't know why, You don't.
The information age is upon us, just like you're saying. YouTube is a great source of watching videos and learning different things. But there's a whole different theory behind time on the water and building your confidence using those different presentations than versus watching it and say, oh, I can go do that. Well, you might go throw top water at somewhere that's the fish aren't set up to eat top water, and then you're like, man, I'm not going to throw that again. But it's just the conditions aren't right. The conditions are different. Just like fish in different areas, this guy might, man, I tore him up in Texas Bayou, so-and-so. Man, I tore him up in there. And then you go there tomorrow and you don't catch a thing. Well,
that's
you don't really fish spots. You got to adapt and figure out what those fish are doing, what they were relating to that day. The weather might be different. The barometric pressure might be different. The lunar phase might be different. There might be cloud cover. There's a lot of stuff that you can go into. Deal.
I was gonna say, man, or the cows could be up moving or laying down.
Yep. I'm gonna tell you. Yesterday, I can share this with people. Yesterday, I got on some fish early in the morning, and then the major was 6-ish to 8-ish, 7:45-ish. And then, it went a while. I got a couple just reaction strikes from a wake bait, because they'll come and smack it every now and then if you get it close over their face. But then closer towards the minor in the middle of the day, I saw some egrets moving, some snowy egrets. That's a big indicator for redfish pushing bait. And I went over to them and had a little small group of 4 or 5 fish pushing bait. Threw it right into them. Bam, jacked one out of there. A couple 100 yards down the bank, I saw a couple more moving. Went over there. Bam.
Yeah.
It was, the birds were moving. And then and then I didn't see anything else. And then I kind of moved around and kind of fished around blind casting. And then all of a sudden I came up on a couple fish, and they were birds, and they were just perched, just sitting there. And there was no fish around.
And there was nothing.
I came to the next point. There's birds just perched, no fish around. So that little window in that minor, they turned on, the birds were chasing and feeding. There was other birds nipping on the water. And then when they didn't feel like eating no more, you just saw them like perched, and then the fish, it died. I mean, the bite went dead. I mean, I fished another 2 hours, just kind of getting back to the ramp, and I picked up one more fish when, you know, that minor, I was just boom, boom, boom. There was little small schools moving and pushing bait. You know, that shows you right there that, you know, if in the heat of the day, when the other animals aren't doing anything, and fish probably aren't doing anything either, you know, back off.
Yeah, man, it's a domino effect. Yeah,
sure is. But yeah, like you say, time on the water, you know, building that confidence up, and you know what y'all do, teaching the kids is really cool, because, you know, just like you said, I know some other organizations might just say, "Oh, kids fishing day," and then they go and they give them a rod and some bait, and then they fish, and then they send them on their way. But what y'all are doing, y'all are actually educating them. You know, you're building their confidence up. You get them, you know, the tools, the valuable tools they need. So
yeah, man.
That's super cool.
And you know, so like we teach like stewardship of the land.
Yep.
You know, we talk about recycling, and we have a marine debris timeline, and
Yep.
you know, monofilament falls in the bottom of the pond. It's gonna take 600 years for it to disintegrate. And the kids, man, they freak out, dude. They, you know, when you wow them with like facts, they're like, holy moly, you know, all the to-go cups. And so we,
styrofoam, plastic.
Yeah. And so we teach them to not only litter, like don't litter, right? So we instill that in them, but we also teach them where it goes.
Yes.
You know, does it go in the brown trash can and the blue recycle? And like for us, we have an organic one here. It's green. And so we teach them where, you know, we teach them not only to pick up the trash, but also where does it go? And it's just a simple reminder, you know, it's just I love it, man. We talk about watershed, you know, and so like you guys get affected with the brown tide and the red tide, and you know, and stuff like that, and we get affected with like watershed where, you know, San Antonio is probably about 80% asphalt and concrete, dude.
True.
And so that trash, man, it flows, you know, and it goes straight to the ponds, and so whenever people go to ponds and they say, man, look at all these weeds, you know, I tell them those aren't weeds, you know, cattails and stuff like that. That's actually designed there to catch trash. Yeah. And there's so much, dude, and they get so fascinated, like, wow. And then we teach them how to tie a knot. Teach them how to tie a clinch knot. And once they pick up the clinch knot, the improved clinch knot, then we teach them a Palomar knot. Yep. And so they go fishing, they get snagged, the line breaks, man. You know what? They tie on another hook. They don't go home. You know, some people are like, man, I'm done. I busted my line. And so we teach them how to tie knots. And it's so cool, man. It's so cool. FinaddictAngler.org.
Yep. Check them out. It's right there on the scrolling across the bottom. Fin Addict Angler Foundation. Look them up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Your Instagram account. Yeah. Fin Addict.
Underscore TX, right?
Underscore TX. Yep. Right there on the bottom. And then the website, www.finaddictangler.org. G. He's a G.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
That's the Paddle and Fin podcast for sure.
Doing the stuff right, man. Y'all got it going on. You know, we'll plug. We'll post a link to the website in the show description on YouTube, and when it comes out on Facebook, share a little bit about the dates of the upcoming kayak tournament for freshwater redfish, and that is on Calaveras, correct? Calaveras Lake.
It's on Calaveras Lake, man.
And San Antonio. Actually, it's a little.
One thing. Yeah. It's like on the outskirts, right? But
outskirts.
There is there's a fee to come into the park, man. So 1,000 Trails is a management company that was hired by CPS Energy.
Yes.
So I want to say it's about $15 for you to come in with your kayak, you know, for the day. But
it's all good. You know, that's how much Coletto is now, 17.
Yeah, man, for real. And so what we do is, you know, you come in and hang out with us, man. We're gonna eat very well. You know, we're gonna eat for 2 days, and you know, we have kielbasa, we have Mulder fire protection, buying all the burgers for the next day. We have
cool deal.
Boomer seafood for Friday night's deal, like
for the fish fry Friday night. Yeah, y'all gonna get hooked up, man. Yeah, I might just have to make it down and just sleep in the truck or something and hang out Friday night, have a few adult beverages, cold, ice cold.
Oh man, we have all
and
those too, man.
have a good little time, man. I'm looking forward to it now. It's got me excited about that.
I tell you what, man. We have a big banquet over there at the San Antonio Food Bank every year, and it's in March. And our like alcohol bar, man, our drinks are $3 and $4, and people tell me all the time, this is a fundraiser. You can have it for 10 or 7 or 8. But man, and in all honesty, and we're being straight up, like I don't want to pay that. So I mean, what I'm comfortable with is, I mean, we treat people the way that we want to be treated.
Exactly.
And I love it, man. And dude, I can't even tell you all the times that people have helped us, like with anything and everything, and it's amazing. It's just a full circle.
That's awesome, man. Well, Oscar,
I love it.
Dude, I appreciate you coming on, sharing a little bit about Fin Addict with everybody, and what y'all have done with the kids fishing programs and the stuff for veterans. The golf tournament. Y'all get on their website, check it out.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you really quick. Go under the events. Go to the fanaticangler.org under events. In November, we have a big military appreciation day. Like it's Fin Addict Anglers vets on the water. And man, dude, we have like about 15 briskets. We have the Lone Star Grillers out here cooking them up. We have all these boat captains that come. They show up to, and this is all at Calaveras. Calaveras is the larger lake of Bronick. Bronick's a lot smaller. So we cannot have any events there. It's too small for what we do. So everything that we do is at Calaveras. But you guys come out, man. Veterans, and any armed forces, man. You're more than welcome.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's our logo. And on that day, and everything's free. All you gotta do is come out and we'll sign up on our website. We get a head count. We match you up with a boat captain. You guys go fishing for half a day. You come back and we eat, for another hour or two and hang out and talk. Anyone that's in San Antonio, I'm the vice president for the Heroes on the Water San Antonio chapter. So we have 16 kayaks. We had an outing 2 weeks ago in Kingsbury, Texas. But we try to go out every third Saturday. But man, dude, we rock and roll, man. We have we have an event this weekend on the San Antonio River. It's crazy.
Man, y'all just got it going on, man.
Yeah, man. We have a daddy. We have a daddy-daughter thing next weekend on the 11th. Like we have 30 dads and they're coming with their daughters, and some of them have 2 daughters and 3 daughters.
Oh, cool deal.
And we accommodate everybody, man. I got rod and reels like crazy. We got DMN Baits, the worm company. They hook us up, man. They help us pay it forward. And so there's so many people involved. It's excellent.
Man,
everyone's
awesome
welcome,
stuff.
dude. Everyone's
get on that website, check them out, you guys. Lots of great stuff coming down the line from Fin Addict Angler Foundation. So y'all go check it out and see what all's coming up. Looking forward to this kayak tournament on September the 25th. 25th.
Yeah, plan to come out on the 24th, man.
Yep, come out on the 24th and come hang out. Yep. And we'll see everybody there. And don't hesitate to come up and say hello if you've heard this podcast and stuff. Just come on out and have a good time. Looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Be ready to go.
It's for everybody. And if anybody needs any help or anything, you let us know, dude. Man, I'll tell you really quick, the kayak industry has just boomed. But
true.
There's people that have YouTube channels now, and they have a really large Instagrams and stuff like that, and some of them even have all these big videos, man. I guess I mentioned YouTube already, but and when you talk to these individuals, man, they will talk about Fin Addict, and our roots run really deep, I don't know, man, and some of them will say, my first kayak event was going to a Fin Addict one, to go have a good time. It's really laid back. It's not cutthroat. There's other events for that. You know,
Yeah.
ours is not one. And a lot of people started with us, dude. It's super cool. It's super cool, and I love it. A lot of people started with us, and just coming out and everybody helping each other. And all we're gonna do is continue to go forward.
That's it.
Yes.
Let's
sir.
show out this year. Have a big turnout, everybody, Texas anglers, or if you're some of my, inshore brethren that want to come on over, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, any other listeners over there, come over here and take your hand at these freshwater redfish. They're beasts. So
yeah, they are, man.
There'll be info on all of that.
You know, I tell you what, those freshwater redfish, they don't reproduce. All they do is eat and grow, dude.
That's it.
That's all they do. All they do is eat and grow.
And grow because they're mad because they're not reproducing.
That's it. And they're in warm water.
And they're warm water all the time. Yep. They're gonna get. There's some beasts in there. They will go for a Texas sleigh rod for sure in the kayak.
yeah. And then they break your heart because you reel them in and they're only like 22 inches.
Yeah, they're strong fish over there. They're definitely some mutant freshwater redfish.
Oh, yeah.
Teenage mutant freshwater redfish. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Oscar, I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Man, dude, thank you for having us. Yeah. This was exciting, and I was waiting for it, so I'm glad it happened. Thank you.
Right on, man. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, and once again, thanks to all the listeners out there that tune in to this segment on the Paddle and Fin Network. Y'all can check it out on. If you're watching this video, you can also check it out on all your podcast platforms and Waypoint TV. There's an app you can go and actually watch these episodes too and listen to them. This segment's proudly brought to you by Waterloo Rods and Truchador & Co. We gladly thank them for their support of this segment. And once again, just thanks everybody for tuning in to Chasing the Tide. We'll catch y'all next time.
Yes, sir.